Hello and welcome to a video with me, Winner and Jake, to another video of Weekly Andrew, in which this week, yeah, I actually got quite a bit of anime to talk about, because, well, beginning of the end of the season and stuff, so I got, 7 anime, I think. It's actually more than I thought was actually ending in the first week here. So, yeah, just starting off with Liar Liar, which seemed good at first. I'll say that much. But it kinda just became stupid, I guess. Didn't really understand what the point of things was at that point later on and stuff. Considering it keeps bringing in new games basically that has to explain the rules to every time. So yeah, that takes quite a bit of time in each episode to do that, not giving enough time for actual development and stuff, I guess. But overall, I think a lot of the problems with the anime probably would have to do like the pacing of the story being too quick or something, I'm guessing. Considering the main villain during all this literally basically just kind of comes out of nowhere, literally don't know what his motivations for anything he's doing is. He just shows up, disappears, shows up again in the final at the end, basically, and then, well, gets defeated, and maybe that's the end of him this time. Maybe. Probably not. But we still literally know nothing about him, to be honest. Because literally nothing ever was explained. But, yeah, of course with this, you can of course make easy comparisons like No Game, No Life and stuff, but I think besides pacing issues, I guess, the main difference is with the games, and that with Sora and Shiro and No Game, No Life, they kind of don't cheat and just spin the rules to their favor. Well, in this, Hiruto literally and everyone else just plain out cheats blatantly. They don't play by the rules at all. They just blatantly cheat constantly. I'd say that's the biggest difference between this and No Game, No Life for the most part. Which kind of makes it where this is not actually as enjoyable because it's just so simple and stupid. But, yeah. It seemed good at first, but didn't really go very well. Next thing is Atelier Ryza or Ryza or whatever. Because its main thing is Ryza's thighs, easily. But overall, this is basically just a slice of life anime that, personally, I kind of think was a bit boring. Which is probably, from my understanding at least, due to it being an adaptation of what's basically a kid's game, I think. And yeah, because of that, the main selling point of this ended up being Gryza's thighs. Because how else are you going to market the darn thing? And yeah. Thighs only go so far, at the very least for me. Sure, the thighs are pretty good, but they'd only go so far. Doesn't make up for a boring story. So, yeah. Moving on to Yohane, Sunshine in the Mirror, which is a spin-off of Love Life Sunshine, which I will just say is my least favorite of the entire Love Life franchise. But, yeah, this is in some kind of fantasy world, and mainly focuses on Yohane, and everyone else is kind of just there doing things as well alongside her. And in the first half of the anime is basically just introducing everyone and stuff, and then the second half actually gets to some kind of story in which Yohane eventually ends up saving Manzu through songs and stuff, along with everyone else singing with her, because it's still Love Life, basically. But, yeah, for a Love Life spin-off, there really wasn't much singing. Seriously, I think there was only like a handful of times in all 12 episodes that they were actually singing at all. So, yeah, bit surprising at how little singing there were, as considering this is a Love Life spin-off, but, yeah. Apparently this also originated as an April Fool's joke or something. So, yeah. And again, becoming a thing at some point. But I don't have anything else to say there. It's just kind of same old thing, I guess. So next up is The Dreaming Boy is a Realist, which I think this was kind of a boring romance anime. which I think is probably due to stuff like there being changes to stuff and content that was just completely cut out or something like that. Considering what happened towards later, but I'll just mention that in a moment. But yeah, the name of the anime. Dreaming Boy is a realist. Realist? Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think there's literally anything realistic about the anime at all, especially about Sajo, because he literally just did a complete 180 out of absolutely fucking nowhere at the beginning of the anime, basically, to the point where he's basically just completely obsessed with Aika, basically, to just completely ignoring her completely and just giving her whiplash, basically. But yeah, there's also Ike, of course, which is the female leading character, basically. The main love interest, which may as well have been a background character until the final two episodes. Seriously. The main love interest, leading female character, basically was a background character until the final two episodes. But back to the whole changes to story and stuff and everything there. Sancho goes to Aika's house to visit Irie, which happened in the final episode there. I'm pretty sure, going by what I've seen on Mal and stuff, that was supposed to happen around episode 6 or something. So that is kind of a pretty large change to where it's supposed to happen. In which, with that final episode overall, you got that visit in the first half of the episode, basically. And then the first half is just super clearly anime original. Considering it literally continues on from that, and it's just like, I don't know, haven't read the fucking source material at all, but I could easily fucking tell it was an anime original. Because that was just purely due to how fast things were progressing all of a sudden, after there literally being nothing the entire fucking anime. So yeah, anime original ending, I guess. So absolutely no chance of this getting a second season, which I think, to be honest, is a good thing, considering they, from what I can tell, massacre the darn thing. What's this adaptation? Considering I don't even think the animation was very good either, considering the whole thing I mentioned last time I talked about with him not even bothering to change Sanjo's hair when he dyed it. Yeah, literally no change at all. Not even slightly. But yeah. Moving on to the next thing, which is Reborn as a vending machine, which was surprisingly good. And I think probably one of the better anime of the season. In which one thing that I kind of actually like about the anime quite a bit is the fact that it kind of keeps some of the gimmicks of the main character being a vending machine around, considering he can't move around himself, he can't freely talk, and only has the pre-recorded voices basically that he can use to talk to people. So, yeah, it keeps things like that around, though I'm pretty sure the whole limitation when it comes to him not being able to talk will eventually, at some point, be dealt with in the future with like a skill like telepathy or something, or guessing. Considering I'm pretty sure there was divine blessing shown in the first episode there. I'm not sure if we can actually get that as a skill or not still, but meh, whatever. But the fact that it did keep those gimmicks around is quite nice, considering most of the time with isekais, you just got these super overpowered main characters that literally basically have no limitations on them at all. Yeah, considering what is the point of Boxo being a vending machine if he can freely move around himself and talk freely? But with the whole not being able to talk thing again, I'm imagining with that, it's probably going to be a situation where Boxo is basically backed into a corner and he absolutely has to use a telepathy skill or something to communicate to others so they don't all fucking die. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen at some point in the future. But with this anime, yeah. Second season already announced for it, so I guess we'll get to see Boxo building a harem somehow still. Considering he is somehow building a harem despite being a vending machine. Yeah. So moving on. My happy marriage. Yeah. Another anime that has already gotten a second season announced. But overall, this was a pretty good romance drama, I guess, considering I guess it is technically a drama, though I don't really like that. But personally, I think it would have been better if it didn't focus so much on all the drama and actually had more romance in it, considering you got the first two arcs basically in this. I think it'd have been nice if you got the first arc done and then focused a bit more on romance before bringing in more drama. But I guess kinda needed all the drama and everything so Mio could actually solve her personal issues and stuff. So, hopefully, I guess the next season focuses on more of actual romance. Hopefully. And there isn't as much drama considering that's basically all this first season really was. But moving on to the next thing, which is the most heretical last boss, queen, or whatever their short name, last time. Which is, of course, another Villainess, Otome game, Isekai anime, whatever there. Which, for once, this didn't really have any romance in it, which I don't think I've actually gotten one like this before. I think this is the first time that we've had an Otome game of any kind where there is not romance. At the very least, when it comes to characters that could have some kind of romantic interest, it can literally just be tossed up to admiration or something like that. And overall, when it comes to Villainess, Otome game kind of anime, I think this is probably one of the better ones. Purely just due to the fact that Pride is not as stupid as the main characters most of the time in these kind of anime. Though I can't call her smart, because for some reason she still thinks she's going to become some diabolical queen in the future that's going to destroy the entire country. Yeah, considering that she still thinks that's going to happen, I don't think you can really say that she's smart, but she's not as stupid as you normally see in these kind of anime. So that's a plus, I guess. So, yeah, that's all the anime that ended this week. Got a bunch of anime for next week, of course, I'm going to have to go over. And then the next week after that as well, which will finish off the season basically. But, yeah, take a look at anime for next season, and, yeah. I can easily say that there's a lot of anime for me to watch next season, which I think is going to kind of push me to try and not watch things that I kind of get some kind of interest in. I'll look for excuses to not watch them, especially the keys in No LA or whatever there, considering I really did not like the first season of that. And for some reason it has a second season, so I'm pretty sure it literally just skimmed through the first episode. If there's not an absolutely massive improvement on the first season, then it's an instant drop for that anime there. So yeah, probably try and knock some things off my list pretty quickly, hopefully, because otherwise I'm going to be spending a lot of time watching anime next season. But yeah, that's that stuff there. Nagzz, the Subathon's still going on, of course, with the timer over 300 hours currently, and I'm only going down a few hours a day so far. So yeah, Subathon not going to be ending anytime soon, in which the Pokemon that Chet's playing at night and everything get 5 seconds cooldown added to inputs, so everyone can only put in commands every 5 seconds basically. Which basically killed all the trolls, for the most part at least. You still get trolls popping up when you're trying to name a Pokemon or something, but we kind of gotten past that point. So at this point, guess well, we don't need to catch Pokemon anymore. Hell, we actually got all the Pokemon in the party actually properly named at this point, besides the first two, basically, because their names are kind of iconic. HHGA and TTM. But otherwise, we got Hive Mind, SSB, Zapnose, Colax. Okay, yeah, I think that's basically the entire party. Well, I had a bit recorded for the next little bit I was going to be talking about, but it's kind of outdated already. Cause, well, chat one. beat Pokemon Fire Red. Managed to get to Lance, just barely beat him. To the point where we literally only needed to get hit one more time and we would lose, but we managed to get his Dragonair, I think, is his main Pokemon that you have to beat there. But, yeah. Ended up having his Pokemon end up hitting itself in Confusion 4 times in a row and finished it off and then used heals, revives, and everything to get ready for the rival and beat it. In which chat kind of started spamming a bunch, but I think that was mostly after the trolls came out and started messing around. So yeah, the fight to the rival was kind of just pure chaos. But we managed to win still, and yeah. Pokemon Fire Red done, and apparently we're doing Moemon next on Pokemon Emerald. So yeah, I got that to look forward to. No bet on the line this time, thankfully. So it's literally just purely for fun, which is great. But, yes, that's the end for this episode here. So, yeah, that's there is in this video. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.